I want to put in context too that Nova, Mike Bucci, Simon Dean was already super high on Paul Burchill and giving me a very good like recommendation about the match, and you're gonna have fun. And he's definitely a future star. And in this dark match, I saw that. I I asked myself a question afterwards that unfortunately somebody in WWE might have been reading my thoughts, because I was like, how can WWE mess a guy like this up? And they did. One of the most talented guys you could be in the ring with on a developmental level that had the it factor. And like you said, in there, 6'4", 240, doing shooting star presses, so athletic, didn't need to do any of that stuff. And I don't think we did any of that stuff in our match, a very basic dark match, which is what you want to warm the crowd up for the TV taping. But yeah, I saw the talent back when I worked him in the dark match. And then I saw that talent get completely wasted as he swung in from a rope as a pirate. And then an ancestral brother. I was like, how can they get worse than this? Like, on both ends.
He comes in as the tag partner of William Regal. So you think, right, they're taking this guy seriously, or at least trying to break him in at a decent level. Then all of a sudden he's a pirate. And he somehow made that work. Because of
the Johnny Depp Captain Jack Sparrow gimmick. I think he was trying to play on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the reasoning was just so facetious. It's like, oh, well, I've decided to leave William Regal and celebrate my pirate heritage. Like somehow, what are some of the websites? The genealogy websites or something. So he sent his blood in and found out that he was related to Blackbeard the pirate, like they'd have his DNA, ancestry or whatever, but ancestry, that was one of them. And somehow that was okay. I was going to say, he mentioned Palmer Cannon. I mean, there's a character from the past as well, where it needs to belong. And then the incestuous thing. He was in WWE for like 5-6 years if you include developmental. And those are the two things you got out of someone who was really talented. Incest, pirate.
Well, this is an educated guess, but I think those were Vince McMahon ideas. Possibly. Hey, now in retrospect, we can assume they were Vince McMahon ideas, especially the second one.
So you know the story with Stephanie McMahon?
That Vince wanted to be the father of her child.
Yes.
So you're saying that it most definitely was a Vince McMahon idea to have two siblings being incestuous on TV.
Yeah.
And don't think that like what you saw was probably thinking of the sponsors, somebody finally maybe not yes-manning Vince to death and saying maybe it's not a great idea to have, because I can see Vince having an Edge and Lita sex celebration with the brother and sister on TV. Can you?
Yes, I don't want to, but yes, I can.
Well, that's the Raw reunion show coming up soon.
I'm going to ask a totally rhetorical question here, but why would Vince do that to somebody who had so much upside? I mean, did he upset somebody? I don't get it.
That's the whole thing with, like, you automatically think it might be punishment, and maybe 8 times out of 10, it is a punishment-based push. I know better than anybody else about those. But I really think he thought it would get over. There was a strange time. Look, we got the Boogeyman. We had other things. We have Dolph Ziggler on the horizon coming very soon. All these different things that touch on just weird presentations, whether it's sexual fetishes or other things that Vince, with one of his computer brains, wanted to put on TV. So I really do think maybe Vince McMahon saw Paul Burchill as a huge star, but he just needed that character that fit him. And dare I say, if you sat down with Paul Burchill, 2 of the things he would not say and lead with as far as presenting himself on TV would be a pirate and a part of an incest pair. Just my guess.
What's he like in real life then?
Very nice guy. Very limited experience outside of TV and obviously working this match in OVW. But Nova vouches for him on a professional and a personal level. They both live in Louisville, or they did live in Louisville during that time. So they got to be friends. And for all we know, too, maybe the fact, I don't know the timeline with this, when Nova was in talent relations, because sometimes, let's go back to the JR Al Snow. I think that's the best precedent. If you're constantly pitching this guy, it actually could work against him. They're getting back at you, not getting back at the talent.
I also want to point out that you would wrestle Paul Burchill and then you would not have another match for 6 months. What the heck is CW? Lowell, Massachusetts. Arch Kincaid. So you wouldn't wrestle...
I did wrestle Arch Kincaid on CW, Chaotic Wrestling. They had a school up there that worked with WWE. That's where Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné came from. Up in that area, but not with that school. Kofi Kingston, other people, they had a working relationship. I also worked John Walters, RJ Brewer, on that show in a Singapore cane match. That is also, I believe, the same company where Vince McMahon did the run-in on John Cena.
Oh,
remember that?
Oh, right. So it's John Cena Sr. when he was managing up there.
Yes,
yeah.
He was a part of that show too. John Cena Sr. is a character. He's awesome. But he gave me a Cena buck. I think I still have it somewhere. I have to find it. So, but Arch Kincaid, one of the most, you want to talk about maybe too weird for the wrestling business? A very, very eccentric guy. Very cool, very nice guy, harmless, but very just, I mean, wrestling is full of weirdos. I'm a weirdo. Everybody is. Hey, you're a weirdo and you're a weirdo. You're going to wrestle at CW.
I thought you were going to say wrestle at sea. That would have been good. Right, I'll ask one more Burchill thing, then we'll have to move on. The pirate thing, fine. In a sense, yeah, it's out there, it's weird, like the Boogeyman and a load of other things, and Palmer Gannon bringing the minis and whatever nonsense. Some will hit, some will miss. There's no upside to having an incest storyline. That's what I don't get, because how's that helping Katie Lee? How's that helping Paul? And you're just wasting your own talent and your own television on TV time, not selling a single ticket to a future show with it. In fact, you're just going to put people off. So why?
You're asking me why? I have a better question for everybody out there. The bigger mystery is not that it made TV. The bigger mystery is who was able to have the power and the influence to stop Vince McMahon from taking it further than it already went. I want to know who that person is. And I also want to know, I can understand that basically maybe Vince thought, hey, if I put this out there, I can have the father of Stephanie's baby, because if they turn this one down, they can't turn this one down. So he was trying to, like my red herring, where I was pitching like really, really bad ideas where they ended up said, oh yeah, it's cool if you hit yourself in the head with a chair at WrestleMania 19, because I was throwing all the red herring ideas for them to turn down. That's the question is, who was the person that finally talked Vince into saying, this wasn't a good idea after all? That's the person I want to meet.
It probably would have been himself. Or he would have thought it was himself, and then would have blamed someone else for probably his own terrible idea, forgetting that he came up with it.
Do you want an Easter egg I didn't give to anybody out there during the Stevie Night Heat episode series that we did?
Sure.
Every single thing I did as GM of Stevie Night Heat was a direct rib on Vince McMahon. A direct rib of, like, Goldust is suspended. No, I said, I'm wrestling Goldust next week. And, you know, that promo I sent you. And it was like, I was like, well, Stevie, you suspended Goldust. I'm lifting his suspension. I'm making a judgment call to him of Stevie. That was Vince. If you told him, like, you're kind of contradicting yourself, I'm making a decision now. And everybody has to be like, oh my God, boss, that's so great.